Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty fucking creepy.
You know what's even creepier, though?
That made chills go down my spine. I thought, I cannot believe it.
God, I thought I muted you. Anyway, let me go ahead and stop that. You know what is even creepier? That Debbie, dumpster, wannabe, has even admitted on BTR and on this platform, on a podcast, not a radio show. It's a fucking podcast, not a radio show. That she was never good enough for her father. That he had wanted another boy. These are things that she said, not me. And I think she was more angry that her mother died of a heart attack when she was younger than she was about her treatment from her mother. But she's gone on and on that she tried to kill me, she tried to do this. Kind of like she said she was a single mom. I mean, that's just, whoa, really? You really think you were a single mother? The only time I could think that she was a single mother is when her and Spector split up and he went to an apartment, or she went to an apartment. I guess he still had the house, I don't know. And she was on her own. Now, for that brief amount of time, I would say she was a single mother. You know, what about disowning the shit you do? You know, you say you abhor hate. I'm going to clean up your grammar. But the facts are that you do not. That you attack people. That you want people to feel more broken than you are. And that's pretty damn broken. And I refuse to be that broken piece that you try to step on. I'm not going to be that broken piece. And I highly, highly recommend to others to not be the other broken pieces. Because this is what this woman's doing. She's a weak person. A weak person. I really want you to hear that she can only feel powerful by making those around her more broken than she is. That extends to her co-hosts that she's had over the years, including myself, the chatters. You know, she's really driven them to extremes at times, including myself. So let's go ahead and listen. More of the hate. And there should be some clips coming up. That's what I'm waiting on, so I can play the entire clip on my podcast, so you can hear the entire dialogue. She makes it sound like I'm bashing her the whole time. You know, that I'm saying horrible things in the chat room. And when Shill had his show, I didn't know that she was in the chat room. I'm like, oh, hi, Mr. White, like I always do. And then she comes, oh, look what's here. You know, and her whole tone was negative. So I slung back. That is what the dumpster and I do. Kind of like two church ladies. An old church lady and then a younger church lady. So, you know, when I think about it, I should have known when I was co-hosting a show with her, and Mr. Midnight Movie verified that we did a show together. We co-hosted. You know, she had intro music for me, everything. You know, I had a good portion of her show. It was like a 3 to 4 hour show. And that was a lot to do every night. I mean, I had better things to do. But on that show, she had said some horrible things. You know, or she'd be really nice to a person. And then in the green room, a room where she and I could talk and no one could hear us, she would talk about how awful they were. And I just didn't understand this mentality. But at one point, she talked about the Laura Ashley store. Laura Ashley was a high-end clothing store from the UK that had some stores here. Like, I liked Laura Ashley perfume #1, and it's like $200-300 now because they don't sell that anymore. They do sell a cheaper version of it now. So maybe the original is not so expensive anymore. But anyway, she started talking about the mom-daughter dresses. Oh, do you remember the mom-daughter dresses? And I'm thinking, I was a child then. I wouldn't be wearing a mom-daughter dress with my 2 daughters. I just wouldn't. Because I'm not that old. And I realized she just had a hard time with reality at that point. I don't know why at that point it was just brought to my attention. but it was. And I tried to explain to her that I was a child then, and I wore those dresses because that's what a child would wear. The dropped waist, it was kind of a definitely English type of wear. So let's go on with her little haterade.
And this idiot stayed up all night long. And the reason he's...
And she
like
doesn't?
this on the microphone is because he's in this big room that's got 2 or 3 beds in it, and his kid's over there in one of them.
Why would you talk about his kid? I mean, come on.
I'm done with you.
You're so done, you're still going to hate on him.
And frankly, anybody that has anything to do with you, I'm done.
Oh, if you're his friend, you can't be my friend.
Disgusting.
Hold on. This happens
And it goes
a lot.
on. Oh, it's not done. Listen, it goes on and on and on.
Shut up for a minute. Okay. A lot of times she'll say, when she's thrown someone out of her life, like they had been an internet friend, and she acts like it's a real live friend, she goes, anyone that has anything to do with that person, I won't have anything to do with you. So this translates into, if you're going to be his friend, you can't be my friend. No, you can't be my friend. This is the type of mentality that is ruining Spreaker at this moment. It's from this one dumpster. It's the toxic dumpster. Don't drink from the dumpster juice. Let's hear what it has to say next.
Even if that means protecting your child from a spouse.
It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, that's right.
I just wanted y'all to get a little flavor.
Your
of
father
what
should have
this guy's
protected
meant.
your ass.
Okay.
You deserved that dumpster.
Who in
You
the
did
world would
deserve
do
that.
kind of a thing. Now, let's move on.
Why does it upset you so?
Today, I was hanging around with Joe, having a lot of fun. We were in the chat room acting crazy. I was doing,
Which
just
Joe is she
practically
talking about?
laughing with Reds and laughing with all these people in the chat room.
Oh, here it comes.
And in she came. His little
See?
cohort. His little
She's talking about
partner in
me.
crime. And, oh, no. Yeah, okay. She came in about, I got in there late. I didn't know he was on. I thought he was doing
right.
that morning talk, no rock thing. And, which I do put on sometimes. When
No,
I
she was
listen to
chatting a
music.
lot. But you can't find it
But
now.
I got a message on Skype. Debbie, Joe took the mic. I thought, okay, great. I'll get back. And then I went and did some things. I was doing some things around the house. I was trying to get Victor out the door and all this kind of stuff. In fact, Victor did hear a little bit of it. I remember he was walking out. And she was already in the room.
Come on.
She'd been there for quite a while.
No, I hadn't.
And when I walked in,
Maybe 5 minutes.
she started hammering on me. Oh, well, there's the dumpster and da-da-da-da.
No, you
Well,
said, oh, look what came
later
in.
on,
That's what you said.
she calls into Joe's show.
Yeah, I
and
did.
she's, just doing all her stuff, saying you did this and you did that. All the lies that she tells.
Uh-huh.
She even goes so far as to go
Keep
into
going.
this long, elaborate story of how Mr. Midnight Movie asked her to get married.
Oh, God.
That he was
That was so bad.
viciously in love with her. And the first thing he said
It was
when he saw
wrong
her on
of me to
webcam
do.
was, "Oh, Debbie Daly lied. You're..."
Let's be clear. He said she lied. 2 words is what he said to start off with. Because I had lost quite a bit of weight at that point. And I've been a very heavy person. And I understand how some people would not like that. But someone that's really into their, how do you say it? Their appearance. That is still like a 17-year-old where they think that's everything. I could see why she might be bothered with that. Well, she's made a big deal of this for about 2 years, 3 years. My appearance. Maybe it's because I have a vocabulary and she does not. Maybe that's why. So, been friends with Midnight for quite some time. And I had even introduced him to the dumpster. And had to really talk her into it. After the first show, he stuttered quite a bit. He was just nervous. Convinced her that this would add to her podcast. And him and Jewish producer continued to be on her show, the podcast. And that was it. That's all there was to it. I was the first caller on Mr. Midnight Movie Show, and we had been good friends, and it did get a little bit more heated, and I led him on, and that was the wrong thing to do. So, if I deserve any, what would be the word? Any booze, it would be on that, because that was wrong to lead him on. And I think I was narcissistic at the time, just like Debbie is narcissistic. See, we have a lot of similarities. And maybe that's why we tangle so much. But I'm not the person I used to be. I'm not. And I've apologized to Midnight for leading him on. And when he asked me to marry him, I had laughed. And that was cruel and wrong. And he and I are good. I want you to know he and I are good. I don't have to be his best friend. I don't have to talk to him every day. But I want to know that he's okay. And that he's safe from harm. And he can take care of himself on pretty good. But he really believes the best out of people. And I know the truth. So let's go on to hear what she had to say between Midnight and I. So there's the truth as it is. Hate me, love me. That's just the way it is.
Beautiful. Well, then Joe says, well, wait a minute. When I talk to Debbie, she doesn't do this. She doesn't talk about you. We talk about all kinds of things. But when I talk to you, all you seem to talk about is her.
Oh, this is such a lie. Wait till I play the other stuff.
I can prove this if you want me to. If you want me to
I'm going to prove it, bitch. I will prove it.
And then he says, well, wait a minute. And you can hear his mouse going. You can hear it going. And he goes, and the whole time she's lying and going, oh, she did this and she did that.
I was not lying.
Hysterical. Well, then he goes, well, wait a minute here. You walked into the room and said, hi, Mr. White. And then you said, hi, such and such. And then you said, and I quote, and I even screen capped it because I thought she would probably go run and delete it.
I don't delete things. It's probably still there.
The screen cap said, I loved OAJ's podcast this morning.
That's the one he agreed to.
He was right about
he was
Dumpster's mother and her father.
He was right.
Being a real man.
And I said that maybe 10 minutes into it when her and I were talking.
Time to move on.
Yeah. Let me pause it there. She and I had been talking on that podcast in the chat room. It's the only place I'll talk to her is in a chat room. And I was talking about how I enjoyed the One Angry Jews podcast, and I do. They're funny. They're about 30 minutes long. I highly encourage people to listen to it. And he's an intelligent guy, and I like listening to podcasts that have some intelligence, that have some rhyme or order. And she makes it sound like I went right to that. No, that is not the case. Even if you look at the podcast right now, you'll see my commentary. It'll sound like I'm talking to someone. I'm talking to her. So let's hear what she has to say next. Because I am going to play different parts of that show to show you that that was not the case.
And she, in front of Joe Seeker, denied
I call him Shillbilly. No, he misunderstood.
He misunderstood the post.
See?
That it wasn't about me. No. And dodged it and danced and dodged and danced.
Oh, we're going to show.
I have a couple other screenshots of that same little incident.
That's fine. I said those words. I own
she
it.
Says,
where's your win?
What's your topic today, Shill?
Because I didn't hear the beginning of the podcast.
My guy is at his ranch in Weatherford right now. That's in Texas. I love wild rice. Sounded like Lester didn't want to be involved last night.
No, it sure didn't.
It's the truth. Hey, I'm just trying to be nice, she said. I screen capped that one. Now, I'm getting to a point, so stay with me. There's a big point coming, okay?
I got to stop her for a minute. Now, I have a old boyfriend that lives in California. He has a ranch in Texas, in Weatherford, Texas. So, I mean, And I did not know it at the time. He got thrown from his horse, was in the hospital.